Hey there guys, what's going on? Gale here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Genshin Impact video, and today we are here to check out the brand new character trailer for Sandrone. The update is tomorrow. I'm looking forward to, of course, summoning for her, but more importantly, I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what her story is, her past with Alain Guillotine, her present, of course, now that she's resurrected, and what lies in store for her in the future. Of course, we saw in the Transcendence trailer, of course, recently featuring the Snezhnaya preview, of course, that she is back with the Fatui. She is back to being a harbinger alongside Arlecchino, Pantalone, and so on and so forth. So it's going to be very interesting to see how she gets back into that position and what role she will play going into Snezhnaya. Of course, if you guys go on to enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for all the good stuff coming regarding Genshin Impact, and let me know in the comment section down below, are you guys planning on summoning for her? Now, tomorrow, I will confirm that we will be doing summons for sure. I will be dropping a summon video. I am going to go for Sandrone and her weapon. And along with that, I will be playing through the entire Moon quest line. I can't remember the name of the quest right now off the top of my head, but we will be doing the entire Moon quest from start to finish, and it'll be all recorded and uploaded on this channel. So stay tuned for that. It'll be greatly appreciated if you guys could come by and, leave a comment or two discussing the story if you have done it, just to get that discussion going on. I might be doing a sort of community reaction as well later on and see what other people have to say. Maybe go on to Reddit and stuff like that and see what's happening. But anyways, no more dilly-dallying. Let's full screen this 1080p this shit. Get this going. If YouTube wants to load, there we go. Let's go 1440p. 1440p. Let's get that beautiful crispness going for us. Let me just do this so it's proper full screen and subtitles are on. Everything's good to go. Let's hit the play button and check out what this has in store for us. Okay, this looks like it's going to be Alain Guillotine making Sandrone. Potentially. Looks like it. Yeah. Ooh, the thumbnail image. Okay.
Weather, clear. Optimal testing conditions.
Is this her making Fagio?
Fagio is ready for final calibration.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, without Polonia, data collection and retrieval have suffered.
Without Polonia, of course. Yeah. She has to climb up.
Weather, clear. Took a walk. It's Fontanelli.
Wait, was that Farina? Farina?
The poster made him look ancient. You've been immortalized as an old man, Alain.
Yep, Farina right in the background there. Ooh, love the music. It's that Fontaine, of course, the Fontanian style that we've not heard in a while. But yeah. Ooh.
Overcast. Tested Fagio in the field.
Jesus Christ, that was a crisp headshot. So it's going to be interesting because it seems like Sandrone is taking a more active role in the fighting process, of course, even in general content. I'm not talking about obviously gameplay, but yeah.
Voice module will remain uninstalled. Excuse me, I'm looking for Miss Guillotine.
There we go, Miss Guillotine back in action. Okay. Very nice character trailer. We kind of got an idea of like the processes of like how you had, of course, Sandrone being created by Alain, and then afterwards, or the process of Sandrone creating Fagio, the sort of comparison between the two processes effectively, and we saw Sandrone's first steps as well. Again, this is what I expect to see in the event as well. And we heard a little bit here, of course, right, that the summer festival or summer Fontanalia festival, film Fontanalia festival, is going to be about Alain Guillotine, which makes sense that Sandrone comes back, of course, resurrected and everything. And it gives us an insight into her backstory as well because of that storyline, right? If I'm not mistaken, it is a permanent event quest as well, if I'm not mistaken. Similar to, of course, what we had last year with Bennett's event, right? And the Asha and everything, right? Very similarly, I think this is also permanent from what I read. I could be wrong. Somebody can correct me in the comments if I am indeed wrong on that. But I think it's going to be very interesting to see, like I said, how her past will link to her present in terms of the gift that Alain left for her, for one. Polonia, what happened to him? Of course, entirely, we still don't know. Is he beyond repair? And if so, why is he beyond repair? What is the issue there? Maybe he's not able to be made back into the form he once was, in the sense like, yes, Sandrone can make him again, but it's not the same Polonia that she's going to be making, if you get what I'm saying. And that is stopping her from making Polonia again. Again, a very sentimental reason, one maybe most will not agree with, but I think it makes sense. If it's not the companion you once had, it's always going to be a little bit less, there's going to be less desire to do it, right? So I think that makes a lot of sense. If that is the case, we're going to have to just wait and see. Of course, we saw some moments with Farina here. Is this Navia? Hold on a second. Let me just check. 1 second. I couldn't tell if that was Navia. I do expect we'll see Navia and co once again. Again, it's Fontanalia Film Festival season, as Sandrone just says right there. And of course, with us going back to Fontaine and everything. Again, like I said earlier on, just when the music was playing, I'm very excited to go back for the music side of things. I love Fontaine's music. I think it's fantastic. And it's one of the reasons why I'm also looking forward to Snezhnaya, because there will be differences, but they've got that same sort of grandiose feel, I guess is the best way to put it, right? With the opera style, the ballet, and all that sort of jazz. That sort of grandiose feel is something that I'm looking forward to. Loved Natlan and Nordcry as well. They had also a feeling of excitement, passion, especially in the form of Natlan, right? That was exciting with Natlan, but here it's more grandiose, a little bit more epic in a more emotional way of sort of like sorrow in some ways, and some ways in terms of euphoria. It's a hard way to explain, but there is a difference between the two. Both feel grandiose in their right own ways, but I feel like the grandiose here is a little bit different compared to Natlan's. Natlan's was passionate, exciting, uh, proper feeling in that sense. It's a bit of a weird one for sure. It's hard to explain there. But yeah, no, very exciting to see. It does seem like, as I was just saying towards the end there as well, Sandrone is probably going to take a more active role in fights compared to previously. I remember, of course, when we first faced Revere, Polonia was the one taking on Revere for the most part, whereas Sandrone was, standing back. And in the fight against Dottore, that was the first time we saw Sandrone actually getting into combat. Whereas here now, it seems like she's also going to be taking her role alongside Fagio. Fagio is, of course, going to be the main attacking component for her, but she's also going to do this a degree of fighting as well during cutscenes and moments like this, I'd imagine, at least, right? But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about this trailer as a whole. What do you guys think? Are you guys summoning for Sandrone, like I said? Are you guys going to be waiting? I think for the most part, and I'll probably do a should you summon for Sandrone tomorrow once I get my hands on her and I use her and everything. I'll probably make it on Thursday. I think based on what I've seen in early access from all the other YouTubers and stuff like that, along with also just generally the idea of being a late patch release, of course, right? A 6.7, 6.8 release, or a 0.7.8 release, you're always going to be a bit hesitant to summon because of course, the next region coming up, right? I would say that for the most part, just early things to say is see how many primos you have first and foremost. If you have more than like 4 or 5 pity, it's not really a bad idea to summon because you're gonna just get more over time. Next patch is probably gonna give us about 70 to 80 new area to explore, film festival, monthly resets, all that sort of jazz will probably give us a couple of pulls for sure. It'll give us at least another 70 to 80 pulls, give or take, I'd imagine minimum. And then, of course, with a new region release, we are always going to get a huge amount. And then anniversaries coming up, which will give us even more. So think of it this way: you're the next 3 patches, you're going to be getting at minimum 80 pulls, give or take, as a free to play player. So in that situation, I would say you're going to be fine. But again, it's a question of where you're at. And also, the other question is, do you want to really delve into the stellar reactions with Sandrone as a potential main DPS, or do you want to just wait until you get the support first and then go and diversify from there? Do you want to go down the maybe there's going to be another stellar reaction or another form of reaction that we haven't even heard about, another stellar reaction we haven't heard about, because obviously we had lunar conduct, right? Not conduct, what is it called? um we had lunar bloom, lunar crystallization, and lunar, what was it? It wasn't stellar conduct. I'm just thinking of stellar conduct, so I'm getting confused with it. What was it again? Jesus Christ, my brain's turned to mush right there. You had lunar charge, right? Lunar charge. Can't believe I forgot lunar charged. But we had lunar charged, of course, with Enefa coming out first. But Enefa was a sort of like a sub DPS sort of role, basically to Flynn's and so on and so forth. She was still could be run as a main DPS, but she ended up being more of a sub DPS, right? And also a support in some ways. So it's a question of, do you want to rely on Sandrone, of course, who's going to be probably main DPS, maybe has a small chance of becoming a sub DPS, but highly doubted. I think she's outright a main DPS based on early analysis. So again, that's the question. Do you want to just jump in with the main DPS and then go from there, or wait until you get a support for the stellar reactions and then go from there? But yeah, anyways, enough yapping about stellar reactions and everything. I might make a video dedicated to that later on, just talking about it and where do I think it will go. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, all that sort of good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, take it easy, everybody. Ciao. Bye bye.